Hello everyone and welcome to my Elevant video blog. Today's video blog is going to be about confidence. Okay, so many people tell me I'm a very courageous person for going through transition, but at some point you have to wonder, is it the most courageous transsexuals who go through transition, or is it that transition makes you a more courageous person in the end? I would say it's a bit of both, actually. When you're transsexual, at the start you may not want to transition. You may be too scared of the consequences that come out of that, but eventually, out of desperation, you may just get to a point where you think you have nothing to lose, and transition is the only move that's going to make you happier in life. And so, in that sense, being transsexual and being faced with all the difficulties associated with that can make you a more courageous person. And also, if you really want to transition, then in the end you're going to have to become more courageous to face all the difficulties that you're going to have to face anyways. But yeah, it also takes some courage to start transition, because there are many transsexuals out there that are still in the closet and that do not transition ever, and there are some that stay in the closet for many years and even build a family with a wife or husband, and eventually, they just, well, give it all up for transition because their partner is not necessarily going to be accepting. And many of these people will tell you then, well, I wish I had transitioned earlier in my life. Well, what does it mean to be courageous, I think it means being confident that you can reach your goals in a way, and not being afraid that things are going to go wrong. And well, it's a bit easier to be courageous when you're not really in danger, I would say. Like, I live in Montreal in Canada, and I go to a university that's very accepting, and for me the risks are much less than for people that live in the southern US maybe, and that are in a small town with a lot of conservative people and everybody knows each other. It's a very different situation. It's a lot easier for me to transition. It's a lot easier for me to think, oh yeah, I'm going to succeed. There aren't going to be that many problems and for these people. But still, where do you begin? Where do you begin to gather the courage to transition? Well, I would think that the first step is to be comfortable with who you are. And that may seem obvious, but it's not for everyone. Like I was saying, if you are in a place where there are a lot of conservative people, and the message you constantly get is that homosexuals, are sinners and everything, well, you might be tempted to think that transsexuals, are also some kind of committing some kind of sin or blah blah blah, and it's not going to be easy if you're surrounded by that kind of mentality to be comfortable with the person you are. But I think that you should look in your heart and think about who you really are. Does it make you an evil person to be transsexual? Well, no, because you were born that way. You don't really have a choice. You never chose to be transsexual. And personally, if I could have been a normal guy, who just wanted to be a guy and lived on normally, I would have picked that over being transsexual, because it's not easy. It makes my life a lot more complicated than it could have been otherwise. So being transsexual does not make you evil, especially since you have no choice. It's a genetic thing most of the time, I think. So yeah, I think that's the first step. You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to realize it doesn't make you a bad person. You have to think to yourself, I am not ashamed of who I am. That's the first step. I think the second step is to reach out. You should try to get into contact with other people who can provide you some kind of at least emotional support. It may not be possible to get support from your family, your friends in real life, but you can at least get in contact with some kind of communities online. There are a lot of sites out there, discussion forums for transsexuals. There's YouTube also. You can post video blogs. You can make friends with the people who do post video blogs. You can send them messages. You can send me messages if you want. And getting some kind of support is good because it will help you realize that you're not alone out there. You're not the only person in this situation. And you can also get good tips, good information from other people. And well, what would be the third step in order to get some confidence? Well, I personally think that the third major step is to come out. And I don't mean maybe a full scale coming out telling everyone about it, but eventually you're going to have to at least prepare yourself mentally for the possibility that the information that you're transsexual is going to leak out. People are going to find out about it. And when they find out about it, you need to be prepared for that situation. Like I said that the first step should be to be comfortable with who you are. Well, that's important because eventually people are going to find out. And if you're not comfortable with who you are, it might be a real shock for you, because people aren't going to be kind necessarily if they don't like the idea. Some people are going to be pretty mean to you, but you need to be prepared for that. You need to have some kind of mental shield, for the hostility coming from the outside. And a good way to be shielded from that is to have some allies, basically. If you have some good friends, which you think may be accepting of you, and well, I think the less conservative the people are, the less homophobic they are, the more likely they are to be understanding. And they may not be accepting, but if you at least have some people that can understand you, that know about this, then they may be able to offer you some protection. Some people you can go to if suddenly people start turning against you, in a sense. Like if your mother or your father start being hostile when you tell them about this, well, it might be nice if your brother or sister or best friend knows about this and you have someone to talk to, So I think that would be the third step. Coming out to the people, coming out to the people you can trust. And once you've done that, well, you might want to start progressing into your transition if you feel you're ready. And that means everything that's associated with hormones, clothing, going out. I think going out is very very important in acquiring confidence. And well, you can start going out not as a girl, if you go to places where there are transsexuals, like a discussion group or things like that, you might want to go there as your biological sex first and make contact with the people there. And you're going to see that people in transsexual support groups and all that are generally very supportive, and it might encourage you to be more confident, and go there later as the gender you desire to present yourself as. And well, once you've started going out in places that are more supportive, you can start going out to dance in nightclubs and places like that, and progressively build your confidence. I would say that it helps when you're not very confident to go out with friends rather than alone. It also provides you some safety, You have to be careful. So it's nice to have some friends with you. If things go bad, your friends are going to protect you. And, just not being alone is kind of predators and violent people will kind of stay away from that. They tend to attack targets that are most vulnerable. That means people that are alone. So if you're not alone, you have a lot less chances of being attacked or insulted by idiots. So that's something you might want to think of. And well, once you've started going out, you might want to think about presenting yourself in your daily life. I haven't done that yet. Well, I have started to present myself as a lot more feminine in my daily life, and it's cool, but people still haven't understood that I'm transsexual. Probably because I haven't pushed things far enough. I don't dress in a feminine enough manner that people understand, oh, you know, she's transsexual, she is a woman, she wants to be perceived as a woman. People just think that I'm some effeminate or strange guy. So, yeah, you might want to start presenting yourself in a more feminine appearance. You might want to do this progressively because it makes things easier. And in the area of confidence, I have to say that, just getting yourself, if you're a male to female transsexual, getting yourself women's clothes, jeans or anything, even if they're extremely neutral, even if they look like guy clothes, people aren't gonna tell that you're wearing women's clothes. Just getting used to wearing them in public is going to make you more confident. For a while I wore size 12 women's jeans. They're extremely loose. And nobody ever thinks, oh, he's wearing women's jeans. Because they don't have a very feminine appearance. But just wearing women's clothes and getting used to the idea, it's going to help you. And well, I think the last step is going to be going out in your daily environment as a female. The other steps are going to prepare you for that, but I think the best advice I can give you is take your time. Make sure to get friends, get in contact with the community, realize you're not alone. Mentally prepare yourself, You have to be relaxed about it. This does not have to be stressful. And remember that if it ever does become too stressful, you can take a step back. You do not have to present yourself as yourself until you are ready to do so. And maybe your environment is not favorable of that. Like I said, if you live in the southern US in a very conservative town where everybody is a Mormon, then maybe you might want to wait a few years, and move to a place that's going to make things easier for you. But anyways, take it at a slow pace. Don't stress. Take it step by step, and I think you can make it. Confidence is something that some people have more of it to start with, but you can build it progressively. Like they said in my psychology classes, you are what you do in a way. If you start doing something, you start going out as a girl, and everything goes fine, and you're gonna say, oh, I'm the kind of person that goes out as a girl and doesn't have problems. This helps build your confidence, build a positive self-image. So that's it for today. I hope that this was helpful to you, and I hope that you will progress in your transition if you want to transition. So good luck.